I think it's also a question of literacy as well, where there's so many people in the country who still can't read. Then I suppose that's where the sort of library culture doesn't really develop so much. But all over the world, this is happening, where libraries are being closed down because there's just a lack of funding for the arts in general. And a lot of, I think, governments, you know, you have these increasingly right-wing conservative governments coming to power. And like in England, for example, there have been a lot of cuts to budgets for things like libraries. And that's really scary as well.
Well, I think anything that kind of restricts the flow of information can be a little bit scary. But for example, here in Pakistan, USAID has a bookmobile that goes to certain rural areas. So I don't know if a lot of people know what a bookmobile is, but it's when you take a whole bunch of books and you stick them in a bus and you drive them around and people can borrow what they want. So the United States government funds actually books in Urdu, with a librarian to stand there and say, okay, this is a book on dinosaurs and you can take it with you and you can read it. And then I'll be back next week and I'll, give you a new book. We have these things called Lincoln Corners that are all throughout Pakistan, including there's one here in Lahore where students and members of the public can go and they can take a look at the books there, and there's other resources through computers and things like that.
Oh, how fun!
In the U.S., the whole issue with the libraries kind of starting to face some challenges is it's real there too. So libraries are starting to adapt by saying, okay, we also offer classes for adults to learn how to read. So say you didn't learn to read as a child, or here's free internet, storytelling sessions for your kids.
There's so many exciting things as well.
They're out there. Because again, I think everybody has to sort of adapt with the times, because we are living in an age now of internet, and when you've got the internet, would you rather watch a YouTube video? Would you read a
we've
book?
got flash fiction too as a result, which is like, what, under 1,500 words? When you don't have time and you have limited attention span, because we're competing with every single social media platform.